There are seasons in your life when God does not remove the people. He reveals them. You did suddenly become cold. You did suddenly become distant. You became aware. This season is not turning your heart to stone, it is sharpening your sight. Because when God is preparing you for the next level, He teaches you how to see before you speak, how to listen before you lean, how to discern before you decide. When what feels like loss is actually clarity, what feels like isolation is actually instruction. You're not learning how to distrust people, you're learning how to trust God as voice within you. So if you've been asking, why don't things feel the same anymore? Because this season is teaching you discernment, not distrust. And discernment is the language of the mature believer. There is a season in life when the storms come, when the winds blow, and you begin to feel as though everyone around you is moving with an agenda that is not clear. You start to wonder who is truly for you and who is simply passing through, who loves you for who you are, and who's looking for what you can give them. It is in these moments that the difference between discernment and distrust becomes not just a lesson, but a lifeline. Discernment protects, and distrust destroys. You see, when you allow distrust to take root in your heart, it does not guard you, it changes you, blinds you. It keeps you from receiving what God has prepared for your life, because your heart becomes a fortress of suspicion instead of a temple of wisdom. But discernment, discernment, is the gift that God gives you when He wants you to navigate life with eyes wide open. It is the lamp unto your feet, the light in the dark, the voice in the stillness that tells you, pause, observe, pray, proceed. Discernment is not about seeing only the bad. Discernment is about seeing clearly. It is about reading between the lines, understanding the motives without being consumed by them, and making decisions that align with the purpose God has placed in your heart. Too often, people confuse discernment with cynicism. They think that if they are careful, they must be cold. They think that if they ask questions, they are questioning God's plan. But discernment is not a lack of faith. It is faith applied with wisdom. It is saying, Lord, I trust you to guide me, and I will also open my eyes to the signs and the truths you place before me. Distrust, on the other hand, is rooted in fear. It says, what if they betray me? What if I get hurt? What if this opportunity is a trap? And so distrust makes you suspicious of everyone, even those who are genuinely sent to help you. Distrust turns relationships into transactions. It turns blessings into burdens. It turns potential into paranoia. But discernment keeps your heart soft, even when your mind is sharp. Discernment allows you to love without naivety, to give without foolishness, to move forward without stepping into unnecessary pain. Discernment teaches you to listen with your spirit as well as your ears, to feel with your soul as well as your heart. It allows you to recognize the intentions behind the words and the character behind the actions. In the school of life, discernment is the teacher that will save you from making costly mistakes, but it is patient. It does not rush you into conclusions. It does not force you to label people before God has had His say. Discernment waits for confirmation. It tests the spirits. It asks the hard questions and does not settle for easy answers. And here is the beauty of discernment. When you practice it, you grow in clarity and confidence. You no longer have to second guess yourself at every turn. You no longer have to live in anxiety about what people may or may not be doing. You learn to trust God while trusting yourself to see clearly. And that is a powerful combination. It is a spiritual strength that protects you from deception, from manipulation, from being drawn into situations that are not for your good. Discernment protects your mind, your emotions, and even your destiny. Distrust destroys because it isolates you. It convinces you that everyone is out to get you, and in that isolation, You stop receiving counsel. You stop receiving love. You stop receiving the opportunities God sends your way. Distrust is a poison that begins in the mind, but spreads to the soul. It whispers lies that convince you that God is not faithful, that people are not genuine, and that life is simply a game of survival. And when you live there in that fear, you lose the ability to see God as hand in the very people and circumstances He is using to bless you. But discernment does the opposite. Discernment opens your eyes to truth, even when it is uncomfortable. It helps you identify red flags without turning them into walls. It allows you to evaluate, to measure, to weigh before you act. It teaches you patience and prudence. It equips you with the wisdom to say, I see the situation clearly, I understand the motives, and I will proceed according to God's guidance. Discernment is a shield. It is not meant to harden your heart. It is meant to sharpen your judgment. It is meant to give you clarity when confusion surrounds you, confidence when fear threatens to overwhelm you, and courage when deception lurks nearby. When you understand that discernment protects and distrust destroys, you begin to approach life differently. You begin to notice the difference between someone who is testing you and someone who is teaching you, between a challenge that strengthens you and a trap that would harm you. You start to move in alignment with God's purpose, instead of running from every perceived threat. And let me tell you something, there's freedom in this kind of awareness. Freedom for unnecessary worry, freedom from misplaced anger, freedom from the paralysis that comes when you let fear dictate your actions. Discernment is freedom with responsibility. It is power with humility. It is wisdom with love. You do not have to walk through life suspicious of every hand extended to you. You do not have to live in fear of betrayal. You can discern. And that discernment will protect you from harm while keeping your heart open to blessing. And the best part is this: discernment grows with practice. The more you observe, the more you pray, the more you seek God. Ask guidance in every situation, the sharper your discernment becomes. You begin to recognize patterns, to read character, to feel God's nudges with increasing clarity. And each time you choose discernment over distrust, you reinforce a life built on wisdom, not fear. You will make mistakes along the way, yes, because discernment is not about perfection. It is about vigilance. It is about learning from experiences and applying those lessons in ways that protect your spirit. Distrust never learns. Distrust only reacts. Discernment reflects, analyzes, and moves with purpose. When you understand this principle, you begin to transform your relationships, your decisions, and even your understanding of God's plan for your life. You see, God does not want you to become suspicious. He wants you to become perceptive. He does not want you to live in fear. He wants you to live in faith with eyes wide open. He does not want you to harden your heart. He wants you to sharpen your mind. And in that place of clarity, you find peace. Peace that comes not from avoiding people, but from knowing how to engage with them wisely. Peace that comes not from distrust, but from discernment. So remember this truth: discernment protects, distrust destroys. It protects your heart, your mind, your purpose, and your future. Distrust only isolates, confuses, and hinders the very blessings God is trying to release through people, circumstances, and opportunities around you. Choose discernment and watch how God honors your wisdom. Choose distrust, and you will find yourself alone, wondering why the world seems colder than it is. Discernment does not close doors, it opens the right ones. Distrust slams them shut. Discernment teaches you to read the signs and move according to God's timing. Distrust keeps you trapped in doubt and hesitation. Life will test you. People will disappoint you. Opportunities will look different than you expected. But discernment is the tool God gives you to navigate those tests without losing your faith. without hardening your heart, and without allowing fear to dictate your steps. Discernment protects. Distrust destroys. Learn the difference. Walk in wisdom, step boldly, and let your heart remain open, for God as plan is always greater than your fear. Life has a way of showing us who we really are, and more importantly, who those around us really are, not by what they say, not by the promises they make, but by how they act when the pressure comes. Seasons are not just about the passing of time. Seasons are about the shaping of character. They are about the furnace of life that tests, stretches, and sometimes shakes you. Not to punish you, but to reveal what is hidden, to expose what is real. So often, people get caught up trying to figure out why someone did what they did, why someone said what they said, or why someone acted the way they acted. They spend countless hours dissecting intentions, looking for motives, wondering if the heart was pure, or if the agenda was selfish. But here is the truth. Seasons reveal character, not intentions. You will never know a person as full intent, because intent is often hidden even from themselves. What you do know, what you can see, is character. Character is the measure of how someone responds when circumstances shift, when the storm blows, when resources are scarce, when loyalty is tested. Character is revealed in the quiet moments, in the moments when no one is watching, when no applause is given, when no recognition is offered. Seasons do not lie. Seasons will not sugarcoat. They will strip away pretenses, uncover the core, and show you the realness of those around you, and perhaps even more importantly, the realness within you. When life changes, when the job is lost, when the relationship strains, when the dream seems delayed, you see people. It's true character. Some will rise to the occasion, not for applause, but because it is who they are. Some will shrink, not because they intended harm, but because they were not prepared to carry weight, because their inner foundation was not built to endure. And you will realize that it is not always about malice or selfish intent. Sometimes it is simply about who a person is, what they have developed in their spirit, what they have strengthened in their soul. And that is the lesson of seasons. They do not judge intent. They reveal character. You may feel disappointed by someone's actions, and your heart may question, why did they do this? But the season whispers back, do not worry about why. Look at how. Look at how they respond when the going gets tough. Look at how they behave when the blessing comes and they are given opportunity. Look at how they treat the vulnerable, the overlooked, the quiet voices. Seasons are a mirror, reflecting what is true, exposing what is hidden, showing what can withstand pressure and what cannot. And in this revelation, there is a powerful invitation, an invitation to clarity. When character is revealed, you gain insight into whom to trust, whom to lean on, and whom to release. You gain wisdom about relationships, partnerships, and even your own readiness for the next level. You see, God does not always answer the question, why did they do this? God often says, look at what they did. God shows you the evidence, not the explanation. And if you are wise, you will pay attention to that evidence, because character is far more reliable than words. Words can be rehearsed. Intentions can be hidden. Promises can be made. Character, however, cannot be faked for long. It is tested when the pressure mounts, and seasons are pressure. They are testing grounds, they are proving grounds, they are refining fires. And those who remain steadfast, those who respond with integrity, patience, and grace, show a strength that intentions alone could never reveal. Some people will fail this season, not because they are bad, but because they are not yet ready. And when that happens, do not take it personally. Do not misinterpret it as betrayal or malice. Understand that seasons are not about punishment, they are about revelation. They are about unveiling reality so that you can move forward with wisdom, discernment, and understanding. Seasons also reveal your own character. You may be quick to judge, quick to anger, quick to assume intent, but the season forces you to pause, to reflect, to look deeper. It challenges you to ask not just what people are doing, but why you are responding the way you are. Your own character is tested in how you handle disappointment, how you deal with unfulfilled expectations, how you maintain integrity when others falter. It is easy to look at someone else as behavior and want to react with resentment, suspicion, or bitterness. But the season calls you to something higher. It calls you to self-reflection, to grace, to patience, to prayer. And when you embrace that, your own character is strengthened. You will discover reserves of patience you did not know you had. You will discover capacity for forgiveness you thought was gone. You will discover clarity and discernment that will serve you for a lifetime. Seasons reveal character, and character is permanent. Intentions may change, motives may shift, circumstances may alter, but who a person is at their core is what endures. That is why it is so important to focus on the evidence of character rather than getting lost in speculation about motives. It is also why seasons are not something to fear. They are not setbacks. They are signposts. They point to what is strong, what is weak, what is ready, and what is not. They teach you lessons about patience, wisdom, endurance, and discernment. They teach you to value consistency over promises, actions over words, reliability over charm. And while the world may obsess over why someone acted a certain way, the spiritually mature person focuses on what is revealed. Seasons strip away the noise and leave only truth. And in that truth you find freedom. Freedom from trying to control outcomes. Freedom from trying to decipher every hidden motive. Freedom from disappointment rooted in unrealistic expectations. You begin to understand that life is not about predicting intent. It is about responding wisely to what is shown. You begin to walk in clarity, moving with confidence, because you understand that the season is revealing what matters. And there is great peace in that understanding. You no longer need to spend sleepless nights wondering what someone was thinking or plotting. You no longer need to replay conversations or analyze every word. You look at actions, you see character, and you move accordingly. Seasons reveal character, not intentions, and that revelation is a gift, a protection, a guide. It is how God positions you to make decisions that honor Him, that safeguard your heart, and that allow you to step into your purpose with eyes wide open. The season may challenge you, it may confuse you, it may disappoint you, but it will never mislead you if you pay attention to what is real. And what is real is character, integrity, consistency, and how people respond under pressure. That is what matters. That is what lasts. That is what God wants you to see. And when you learn to recognize it, to embrace it, to act on it, you will navigate life with wisdom and peace, knowing that even when intentions are unclear, character is undeniable. Seasons reveal character, not intentions. They reveal the substance of the soul, the strength of the spirit, and the reliability of those around you. They invite you to step back, observe, and respond with wisdom. They challenge you to grow, to mature, to develop resilience, to build a foundation that no storm can shake. And they remind you that your life is not measured by how people act in theory, but by what is shown in practice. So when the storms come, when the pressures mount, when the people around you act in ways that surprise you, do not focus on why. Focus on what? Focus on the evidence of character. Let the season teach you, guide you, and reveal to you the truth. Let it refine you. Let it prepare you. And know that through it all, God is showing you, shaping you, and equipping you to move forward with clarity, discernment, and strength. Seasons reveal character, not intention. Understand this, embrace this, and your life will never be the same. There is a truth in life that so many people overlook, and it is this: Clarity is not born in the chaos of impulse, nor is it found in the heat of emotion. Clarity comes through quiet observation, not hasty judgment. So often, we want answers immediately. We want to know why someone acted the way they did, why circumstances turned against us, why opportunities seemed delayed. We rush to conclusions, we assign blame, we make assumptions, and in that haste, we cloud our vision instead of sharpening it. Life is not about jumping at every movement. It is about watching, listening, discerning, and allowing the truth to reveal itself over time. God teaches us patience through seasons of waiting, through moments of uncertainty, through the times when we cannot force the pieces of the puzzle together. In these moments, quiet observation is the key. When you take the time to step back, when you slow down your heart, when you silence the noise of your own assumptions and the opinions of others, you begin to see what was always there. You begin to perceive the subtleties, the patterns, the hidden signals that point to what is really happening. The problem with hasty judgment is that it is impulsive. It reacts without reflection. It labels people and situations before the full story is revealed. It reaches conclusions based on incomplete information, assumptions, or even fear. And when you judge too quickly, you risk acting on a false narrative, making decisions that hurt your future, and closing doors that God intended to open. Quiet observation, however, requires discipline. It requires patience. It requires a willingness to wait and to watch without jumping to conclusions. It requires faith that God is working even when you cannot see the full picture. And this kind of observation is active, not passive. It is not sitting idly and doing nothing. It is watching with intention, listening with purpose, praying with expectation, and discerning with wisdom. When you observe quietly, you see character. You see patterns of behavior. You see the consistency or inconsistency of someone's actions. You see who truly honors their word and who only makes promises. You see who will rise to the occasion when tested and who will crumble under pressure. And in observing quietly, you gain clarity that hasty judgment could never provide. Hasty judgment sees the surface. Quiet observation sees the depth. Hasty judgment reacts to a moment. Quiet observation responds to the truth. Hasty judgment is loud, brash, and impatient. Quiet observation is intentional, calm, and discerning. And here is the beauty of quiet observation. It protects your heart. It saves you from unnecessary pain, from rash decisions, from the regrets that come from acting on assumptions rather than reality. It allows you to respond with wisdom, to engage with discernment, to act in alignment with God's timing and purpose. Many people think that if they wait, they are weak. They think that if they do not react immediately, they are missing opportunities. But the truth is that waiting with observation is strength. It is power under control. It is wisdom in action. It is saying, Lord, I trust you to show me what is true before I act. And God honors that patience. God honors the one who watches and waits, the one who listens and prays, the one who does not rush to conclusions but allows clarity to form naturally. Life will test you with situations that demand an immediate reaction. People will pressure you for answers. Opportunities will appear that seem urgent. But the spiritually mature person recognizes that clarity is more valuable than speed. Clarity is the foundation for wise decision-making. It is the lens through which you discern God's will. It is the armor that protects you from missteps. When you practice quiet observation, you also learn humility. You learn that your first impression is not always correct. You learn that your perspective is limited. You learn that God's timing is perfect, and that sometimes what you see in a moment is only a fragment of a larger plan. Quiet observation teaches you to listen not just to words, but to actions, not just to intentions, but to character, not just to promises, but to consistency. It allows you to read between the lines, to see beyond appearances, and to understand the heart of a situation. And when clarity comes, it brings peace. Peace that you do not get when you judge hastily. Peace that comes from knowing that you have acted based on truth, not assumption. Peace that allows you to move forward with confidence rather than hesitation. Hasty judgment creates confusion, conflict, and regret. Quiet observation creates understanding, resolution, and wisdom. It gives you a perspective that allows you to navigate life with discernment, to see clearly through the fog of emotion, and to act decisively when the truth is revealed. Clarity is not always immediate. Sometimes it comes slowly, over days, weeks, months, even years. And that is why patience is so critical. You cannot force clarity. You cannot demand it. You cannot create it by reacting impulsively. You can only prepare your heart to receive it, to recognize it when it appears, to act in alignment with it. The world wants you to react quickly, to form opinions instantly, to take sides immediately. But God wants you to observe quietly, to listen attentively, to seek wisdom before acting. He wants you to understand that clarity is a process, not a moment. And when you grasp this truth, you begin to operate differently. You begin to notice what others miss. You begin to perceive what others overlook. You begin to respond with wisdom that sets you apart. And that wisdom is powerful. It protects your relationships, your decisions, your opportunities, and your peace. Quiet observation also teaches you resilience. When you resist the urge to react hastily, you build strength in your spirit. You learn to stand firm in the midst of uncertainty. You learn to endure delays without frustration. You learn to trust God even when the outcome is not immediately visible. And in that trust, clarity is formed. It is refined. It becomes undeniable. You see the truth not through emotion, but through discernment. You see reality not through assumptions, but through observation. You see God's hand in the situation because you took the time to wait, to watch, to listen, and to understand. Life will always present moments that tempt you to judge quickly. People will always act in ways that irritate or frustrate you. Circumstances will always challenge your patience. But the spiritually mature person rises above impulse and embraces observation. They do not ignore the situation, but they see it fully. They do not avoid the problem, but they perceive it clearly. They do not react in haste, but they respond in alignment with truth. And when you operate in this way, you are not only protected from error, you are positioned for blessing. Opportunities align with your wisdom. Relationships deepen with integrity. Decisions are made with confidence rather than doubt. Peace reigns in your heart instead of confusion. So remember this principle: clarity comes through quiet observation, not hasty judgment. It comes from pausing instead of reacting, from watching instead of assuming, from listening instead of immediately concluding. It comes from trusting God's timing and guidance, from seeking wisdom over impulse, from allowing the truth to reveal itself fully before you act. The person who masters this principle is the one who sees clearly, acts wisely, and walks confidently through life, even when others are blinded by assumptions and quick conclusions. Quiet observation transforms not just how you see the world, but how you respond to it, how you grow through it, and how you are prepared for what God has planned next. Clarity is not accidental. It is intentional. It is cultivated. It is earned through patience, prayer, discernment, and the discipline of observation. And when you embrace this practice, you will discover a level of peace, understanding, and wisdom that no hasty decision could ever give you. Quiet observation is strength. Hasty judgment is weakness. Clarity comes to the patient, the discerning, the one who waits on God, observes closely, and responds with wisdom. Learn this, live this, and your life will be marked by insight, purpose, and peace. Because God honors the one who watches, waits, and moves with understanding rather than impulse. There's a truth that many people struggle to understand. God does not always give you the answers immediately, but He always gives you the lessons you need. He does not hand you trust on a silver platter. He teaches it, molds it, shapes it, and perfects it through tested wisdom. You see, trust is not automatic. Trust is not blind. Trust is not something you claim without experience. Trust is learned in the crucible of life, in the fires of testing, in the moments when everything seems uncertain, and yet you have to move forward anyway. God teaches trust by putting you in situations that challenge your reliance on yourself and force you to rely on Him. He allows doors to close so that you can see that He is the one who opens them. He allows relationships to be tested so that you can see the difference between those who are temporary and those who are permanent. He allows your plans to be delayed so that you will learn patience and endurance. And in all of this, He is teaching you to trust through wisdom, through observation, through understanding, through discernment, through experience. Tested wisdom is the classroom in which trust grows. It is in the moments when you feel like you are standing alone that you discover whether your trust is in God or in circumstances, in people, or in fleeting feelings. The tests are not punishments, they are instructions. They are God's way of saying, I want you to learn to depend on me. I want you to develop the wisdom to know when to move and when to wait. I want you to trust me even when it does make sense to your natural mind. Trust is perfected through tested wisdom, because wisdom forces you to pause, reflect, and evaluate. It forces you to look at situations not only through your emotions, but through the lens of God as guidance. It teaches you that not every setback is a sign of failure, that not every delay is a denial, that not every challenge is a condemnation. Wisdom teaches you to recognize God as hand in every circumstance and to respond with faith rather than fear. When God teaches trust through tested wisdom, He is not just showing you what to believe. He is showing you whom to trust, what to rely on, and how to act when life does not unfold as expected. The process is often uncomfortable because it forces you to confront your limitations, your impatience, and your desire for control. But it is in this discomfort that growth occurs. It is in this tension that your faith is strengthened. It is in this testing that trust becomes anchored, not in promises alone, not in circumstances alone, but in the character and faithfulness of God Himself. Many people think they can trust God without testing. They think they can claim faith without learning patience, without experiencing trials, without walking through uncertainty. But trust that is untested is fragile. It breaks under pressure. It fails when life does not go as planned. True trust is developed in the classroom of tested wisdom, and God is the master teacher. He allows situations to challenge you, not to harm you, but to educate you. He allows people to disappoint you, not to abandon you, but to show you where to place your dependence. He allows opportunities to be delayed, not to deny you, but to teach you the timing of His perfect plan. Every test, every trial, every delay is an opportunity for your trust to grow. And when you embrace it, you begin to understand that trust is not a passive state. It is an active practice. Trust requires that you act even when the outcome is unknown. It requires that you step forward even when the path is unclear. It requires that you make decisions not solely based on what you see, but based on what you know about God's faithfulness, His character, and His promises. Tested wisdom allows you to navigate life with discernment. It helps you distinguish between what is safe to rely on and what is not. It shows you who will stand with you through adversity and who will falter under pressure. It teaches you to observe patterns, to recognize consistency, and to make choices that honor God and protect your purpose. When God teaches trust through tested wisdom, He is equipping you for the long game. He is not interested in a momentary faith that wavers at the first sign of difficulty. He is cultivating a faith that endures storms, that perseveres through trials, that remains confident even when circumstances seem impossible. This kind of trust is unshakable because it has been refined in the fire. It has been tested through experience. It has been informed by wisdom. And it is this trust that positions you to receive blessings that others who have not been taught this way may miss. Trust and wisdom are inseparable. One cannot truly exist without the other. Trust without wisdom is reckless. It is naive. It ignores red flags. It dismisses patterns. It overlooks reality. Wisdom without trust is paralyzing. It hesitates. It fears. It doubts. But when God teaches you trust through tested wisdom, He is harmonizing the two, creating a foundation that is both strong and flexible, grounded and discerning. And the result is a life that moves forward with confidence, even in uncertainty. You will begin to notice that your decisions are more aligned with God's purpose, your relationships are more authentic, and your peace is unshakable. You will face situations that once would have terrified you, and you will walk through them with calm assurance because your trust has been tested and strengthened. Trust is not just about believing that God will act. It is about believing that God is acting, and will act in your life according to His perfect timing. Tested wisdom allows you to see His hand in past experiences, to recognize His guidance in the present, and to anticipate His provision in the future. It teaches you that setbacks are setups, delays are divine timing, and disappointments are often redirection. Every trial becomes a lesson. Every challenge becomes an opportunity. Every uncertainty becomes a classroom. And as you learn, your trust grows not in people, not in luck, not in circumstances, but in the God who is faithful, who is sovereign, who never fails. God teaches trust through tested wisdom because He wants you to be prepared. He wants you to stand firm when the storms come. He wants you to make decisions that honor Him and protect your destiny. He does not want you to be impulsive. He does not want you to be reckless. He does not want you to rely on the shifting sands of human understanding. He wants you to rely on Him, and He teaches you to do it through the careful, deliberate, sometimes uncomfortable process of tested wisdom. And when you embrace this teaching, you begin to experience freedom. Freedom from fear, freedom from doubt, freedom from the anxiety of trying to control what only God can control. You begin to act with confidence, move with assurance, and live with peace, knowing that every test has been a preparation, every challenge has been a lesson, and every delay has been a training ground for trust. God's methods may be mysterious, but they are always perfect. He does not rush the process, and He does not skip the lesson. He allows life to unfold in a way that refines your character, strengthens your faith, and deepens your understanding of His ways. Tested wisdom is the classroom, and trust is the lesson. When you learn this, you will never be shaken by circumstances. You will never be destabilized by uncertainty. You will never be swayed by what others do or fail to do. Your trust will rest in God, informed by wisdom, strengthened by experience, and confirmed by His faithfulness. So remember this principle: God teaches trust through tested wisdom. He allows situations to challenge you, relationships to stretch you, delays to instruct you, and trials to refine you. He does this so that when the time comes, when the blessing is ready, when the opportunity aligns, you will step forward with confidence, clarity, and courage. Trust is not given freely. It is earned through experience, shaped by wisdom, and perfected through testing. And when you embrace it, when you walk in it, your life will be a testimony of God's faithfulness, your steps guided by discernment, your heart anchored in peace, and your spirit unshakable in the storms. God teaches trust through tested wisdom. And those who learn this lesson will walk through life prepared, empowered, and victorious. There is a principle in life that is often overlooked, yet it is one of the most powerful truths for anyone who desires growth, advancement, and purpose. Learning to see clearly prepares you for your next level. So many people want promotion, success, opportunity, or blessing, but they are not willing to adjust their vision, to refine their perception, to sharpen their understanding. Advancement does not come simply because you wish it, hope for it, or demand it. Advancement comes when your eyes are open, when your mind is alert, and when your heart has learned to discern reality from illusion. To see clearly means to perceive the truth beneath appearances. It means to distinguish between what is temporary and what is eternal, between what is authentic and what is deceptive, between what will build you and what will break you. Many people go through life looking at the surface of things, reacting to the immediate, being influenced by emotion rather than reality, and as a result, they stumble, they fall, and they miss the opportunities that God has placed before them. But God is in the business of clarity, and clarity is preparation. Clarity allows you to recognize your next step, even when it is not yet obvious. Clarity allows you to see the doors that are opening and the doors that are closing. Clarity allows you to understand the people, the situations, and the circumstances that are aligned with your purpose and those that are distractions. The problem is that many people confuse movement with progress. They think that being busy is the same as advancing. They think that reacting quickly is the same as responding wisely. They think that taking every opportunity that comes their way is the same as stepping into the next level God has prepared. But true advancement is only possible when you see clearly. Learning to see clearly is a process. It requires reflection, observation, and discernment. It requires humility, patience, and willingness to learn. It requires the discipline to step back, to assess, and to evaluate rather than rushing ahead blindly. God uses seasons, experiences, and challenges to refine your vision. He removes distractions, tests your focus, and teaches you to recognize patterns, to understand motives, and to read situations accurately. When you embrace this process, you begin to see with spiritual eyes. You begin to recognize the difference between appearances and reality, between words and action, between promises and fulfillment. And when you see clearly, you are prepared. Prepared for relationships, prepared for opportunities, prepared for responsibilities that you could not handle before. Prepared for leadership, prepared for stewardship, prepared for the callings that God has set before you. Learning to see clearly is not just about understanding others, it is also about understanding yourself. It is about recognizing your strengths and weaknesses, your gifts and limitations, your readiness and areas that need growth. When you see yourself clearly, you can step into your next level with confidence rather than insecurity. You can embrace your purpose rather than chasing illusions. You can act with intention rather than reacting out of fear or desire. Many people fail to advance because they misread situations. They misunderstand people. They underestimate themselves or overestimate their capacity. They act prematurely, and as a result, they miss the timing that God has carefully orchestrated. But when you learn to see clearly, you are able to move with precision. You are able to act at the right time, with the right people, in the right way. You are able to maximize the opportunities that come your way rather than being blindsided by unforeseen challenges. Clarity prepares you for the next level because it aligns your mind, heart, and spirit with reality. It prevents you from being misled by illusions, distracted by noise, or deceived by false appearances. It allows you to make decisions that are wise, strategic, and purposeful. It gives you insight into the steps you need to take to fulfill your destiny and the steps you need to avoid to protect your progress. Seeing clearly also teaches patience. Advancement is rarely instant. Promotion is rarely immediate. Growth is rarely without preparation. When you see clearly, you understand that timing matters. You understand that rushing ahead without readiness can be disastrous. You understand that God's process is often invisible to the eye, but perfect in execution. And so you wait wisely, you move carefully, and you act intentionally. Clarity also sharpens your judgment. It allows you to recognize character in people. It helps you to discern intentions. It teaches you to evaluate opportunities with insight. It prevents you from being taken advantage of, from being misled, from making decisions based on wishful thinking or fleeting emotion. When you see clearly, you are not only prepared for advancement, you are protected from setbacks that could derail your journey. Learning to see clearly is also about prioritization. It is about knowing what matters and what does not. It is about understanding which battles are worth fighting, which investments are worth making, which relationships are worth nurturing. So many people exhaust themselves chasing trivialities, reacting to distractions, and investing in things that do not align with their purpose. Clarity helps you conserve your energy, focus your attention, and align your resources with what truly matters. And in doing so, you position yourself for exponential growth. Clarity opens your spiritual eyes to the realities of life. It allows you to see opportunities where others see obstacles. It allows you to recognize lessons in difficulties and blessings in challenges. It allows you to walk with confidence, knowing that you are seeing life through God's eyes rather than through human perception alone. The next level is never just about what you can do. It is about who you are becoming. And learning to see clearly shapes who you are becoming. It molds your character, sharpens your wisdom, strengthens your discernment, and cultivates your patience. It equips you to handle responsibilities that would have overwhelmed you in the past. It prepares you to lead, to serve, and to impact others in ways that only someone with clarity can. Many people desire advancement but are not willing to see clearly. They want promotion without preparation, blessing without discipline, opportunity without understanding. But God knows that without clarity, advancement is dangerous. Without insight, promotion can lead to pride, failure, or compromise. Without discernment, opportunity can become a trap rather than a blessing. Learning to see clearly prevents these pitfalls. It allows you to navigate life with wisdom, integrity, and purpose. It ensures that when the door opens, you are ready. That when responsibility is given, you are prepared. That when opportunity knocks, you recognize it, respond to it, and walk through it with confidence. Clarity transforms uncertainty into confidence, confusion into understanding, and hesitation into decisive action. And the beauty of clarity is that it grows over time. The more you observe, the more you reflect, the more you learn, the sharper your vision becomes. You begin to anticipate outcomes, recognize patterns, and respond to life with precision rather than reaction. You begin to understand the difference between what is temporary and what is eternal, what is meaningful and what is trivial, what is aligned with your purpose and what is not. And this understanding prepares you for your next level. The next level may be a promotion, a calling, a relationship, a financial breakthrough, a spiritual milestone, or a personal transformation. Whatever it is, clarity ensures that you are ready to handle it wisely, responsibly, and with integrity. To see clearly is to be awake in life, to be alert to the realities around you, to act with intentionality, and to respond with wisdom. It is to rise above the superficial, the fleeting, and the deceptive. It is to align yourself with truth, with purpose, and with God's plan. And when you learn to see clearly, you step into your next level fully equipped, confident, and prepared to fulfill your destiny. So remember this truth. Learning to see clearly prepares you for your next level. It sharpens your vision, strengthens your character, deepens your discernment, and aligns your actions with purpose. It protects you from pitfalls, guides you in decision-making, and positions you for blessing. The person who learns to see clearly does not stumble blindly. They move with intention, act with wisdom, and step into advancement with confidence. Your next level is waiting, but God will not give it to someone who cannot see clearly. He will not entrust responsibility to someone who has not learned discernment, patience, and insight. That is why this principle is so vital. Clarity is preparation. Clarity is the foundation upon which your future is built. Clarity is the lens through which you will navigate opportunity, relationships, and purpose. And when you embrace it, when you practice it, when you cultivate it, you will step into your next level with eyes wide open, heart aligned, and spirit ready for all that God has ordained. Learning to see clearly prepares you for your next level. Never settle for blurred vision. Never act impulsively. Never accept confusion as guidance. Seek clarity, pursue understanding, and let God reveal the truth. Your next level depends on it, and when you see clearly, you will rise higher than you ever imagined. As we come to the end of this message, I want you to hear this truth deep in your spirit. This season you are in right now is not a time of punishment. It is a time of preparation. It is not a time to harden your heart, but a time to sharpen your eyes. It is not a season to embrace distrust, but a season to cultivate discernment. God is at work, even when life feels confusing, even when people disappoint, even when opportunities seem delayed. He is teaching you lessons that will carry you beyond this moment and into the next level of your life. Remember, discernment protects and distrust destroys. This is the first principle I want to leave you with. The enemy wants you to live in suspicion, fear, and doubt, to question every motive, to second-guess every word, to retreat behind walls of skepticism. But God wants you to rise with eyes wide open, seeing clearly, understanding fully, and responding wisely. Discernment will protect your heart from unnecessary pain. It will protect your purpose from compromise. And it will protect your peace from being stolen. Distrust will only isolate you, blind you, and hinder you from stepping into the blessings God is preparing for you. And so this season, when you feel uncertain, when the storms hit, when people act in ways that confuse you, remember that God is not calling you to suspicion. He is calling you to discernment. Seasons reveal character, not intention. This is another truth to carry with you. People will act in ways that disappoint you. Circumstances will challenge you. Plans will fall apart. And in those moments, it is easy to focus on the why, to ask, what were they thinking? What was their motive? But God says, look at who they are. Look at what their character reveals. That is the truth you can rely on. Intentions are often hidden, even from the person themselves, but character is revealed through consistency, through response, through integrity under pressure. When you see character clearly, you are equipped to make decisions that honor God and protect your journey. You begin to understand that the disappointments in your life are not accidents. They are divine lessons preparing you to navigate the world with wisdom. And in that preparation, you will discover patience, discernment, and resilience that cannot be learned any other way. Clarity comes through quiet observation, not hasty judgment. This principle is critical for anyone who desires growth and advancement. How many times have we rushed to conclusions, reacted impulsively, and assumed motives without understanding the whole picture? How many opportunities have been missed because we judge too quickly? God wants you to learn the power of observation, the strength of patience, and the wisdom of reflection. When you step back, when you pause, when you take the time to watch, to listen, to discern, you begin to see what others miss. You begin to understand people, circumstances, and even your own heart more fully. You begin to recognize the difference between what is real and what is illusion, between what is temporary and what is eternal, between what will bless you and what will harm you. Quiet observation allows clarity to emerge naturally, and clarity positions you to make decisions that are aligned with God's purpose, rather than decisions based on fear, impulse, or incomplete information. God teaches trust through tested wisdom. This is one of the most profound truths I want to leave with you today. Trust is not automatic. Trust is not given freely. Trust is earned in the crucible of life, in the fires of testing, in the moments when everything is uncertain, and yet you must move forward. God allows trials, He allows delays, He allows challenges not to break you, but to teach you to rely on Him. He allows circumstances to stretch your patience, test your endurance, and sharpen your discernment so that when the opportunity comes, when the blessing is ready, when the next level is prepared, you are able to step forward with confidence and not be shaken by uncertainty. Tested wisdom teaches you when to act and when to wait. It teaches you how to evaluate people, circumstances, opportunities. It teaches you to respond with faith rather than fear. And when you embrace this teaching, your trust in God becomes unshakable. You no longer depend on circumstances or people to give you peace. You depend on God, whose faithfulness never fails. Learning to see clearly prepares you for your next level. This is the final truth I want to imprint on your heart. Advancement, promotion, blessing, and purpose do not come simply because you desire them. They come when you are prepared to handle them. They come when your mind is sharpened, your heart is aligned, and your spirit is refined. Seeing clearly allows you to recognize opportunities, discern character, understand timing, and act with intention. It allows you to distinguish between what will elevate you and what will destroy your progress. And it prepares you to step into responsibility with confidence, wisdom, and integrity. The next level is not just about position or status. It is about maturity, readiness, and alignment with God's purpose. You cannot rise if your vision is blurred. You cannot advance if your discernment is clouded. You cannot inherit what God has for you if you cannot see clearly what He has already prepared. All of these truths, discernment, character, clarity, trust, and vision come together to form a map for your journey. They are the spiritual GPS for the path God has set before you. And when you embrace them, when you apply them, when you live them, you are no longer navigating life blindly. You move with confidence, you act with wisdom, you respond with grace. You position yourself for divine alignment. You step into your destiny with authority and purpose. And I want to tell you something else. This season may be challenging, but it is also sacred. Every disappointment, every delay, every trial, every test is a divine appointment to refine you. God is not wasting your pain. He is using it to prepare you for your next level. God is not ignoring your frustration. He is shaping your perspective. God is not punishing you with uncertainty. He is teaching you discernment, patience, and trust. This is why you must not rush the process, why you must not react impulsively, why you must not let distrust cloud your heart. Stay alert, stay observant, stay prayerful, stay aligned with the principles God is teaching through this season. And as you do, you will discover that the very things that felt like obstacles are actually opportunities. The very people who tested your patience are actually lessons in character. The very delays you experienced are actually divine timing, preparing you for a breakthrough that exceeds what you thought was possible. Your eyes are being opened. Your heart is being sharpened. Your spirit is being strengthened. And when you step forward, you will do so with clarity, confidence, and courage, ready to embrace the next level God has ordained for you. So hear me now. Do not despise this season. Do not shrink back in fear. Do not allow distrust or impatience to steal your peace. Embrace discernment. Observe quietly. Learn from character revealed in others. Trust God through the wisdom He provides. And prepare yourself to see clearly for the next level. When you do, you will rise. You will step into purpose. You will step into blessing. You will step into the fullness of what God has already prepared. Your season is not wasted. Your season is not a punishment. Your season is a teacher. Your season is a refiner. Your season is a preparation ground for greatness. And when you embrace these lessons, your life will never be the same. You will no longer stumble blindly. You will no longer react impulsively. You will no longer be misled by false appearances. You will move with wisdom, with purpose, and with faith that God is guiding every step. So, I declare over you today, the lessons of this season are not in vain. The discernment you gain will protect you. The character revealed will guide you. The clarity you cultivate will prepare you. The trust you develop will sustain you. And the vision you sharpen will position you for your next level. Step forward boldly. Walk in alignment. And embrace all that God has prepared. For your season of preparation is your season of promotion. Your clarity will open doors. Your wisdom will keep you safe. Your faith will propel you forward. And your next level will not just be a change in position. It will be a transformation in purpose, power, and promise. This season is teaching you, refining you, and preparing you. Walk with eyes open, heart aligned, and spirit ready. Because God's best is not just coming, it is already on its way, and you are ready to receive it.